Was it Jessica? Hello? Yes, hello. This is Jessica Smith. Yes, I am calling about our interview.
Oh, from what I understand, the interview is supposed to be tomorrow around this time?
Yes. I just couldn't wait. I'm sorry. Is that what, I will call you back tomorrow.
Oh, no, it's okay. I actually like getting things over with, so, let me just put you on speakerphone. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. I got a little excited. Okay. Question number 1. What is the most important thing to know about this album?
I guess that it is carefully and skillfully and lovingly crafted by many top-notch musicians. And the first time you listen to it, or one of the times you listen to it, I would love it if it was from the beginning to the end, because we created an experience for you. And a lot of people say these days, oh, people don't make albums anymore. It's just singles and all of that. But this is a true album, and whatever experience you want to create for yourself, if you want to dress up or have some friends over, if you get the bundle, like the candle, and just get cozy, whatever it is, I would love for it to be an hour of time just to yourself to spend with this album, because there's so much that we all put into it.
Oh, I'm totally going to dress up. Yeah. Next question. Okay, what do you feel like has prepared you for making this album?
I guess what prepared me to make this album is the deep need to make this album. So because of this, throughout my life, I've structured my life, my work, my living situation, my friends, just everything, so that I could one day make the album. So even if I wasn't in the right place for it, whether that be physically, emotionally, or whatever, it was always a goal, and I always needed to make this album. And so even if I was in situations that would be not great for me or not great for me creating my best work, that's a push that got me out of those situations. Because it's like if you work towards something for so many years, there's almost this, I don't know, it's like I did not work in all those restaurants and mop those floors after closing hours to not get this done. Like that would just piss me off, because it is like, were there times that I didn't think it would happen? Yeah, absolutely. But there's just something that did not stop nudging me. Sometimes I'll be very angry at that thing that was nudging me, because sometimes you just want to be like,
I just can't wait to hear it. Okay. Who do you feel like you made this album for? Who is this for? Who's going to like it? I'm going to like it, but who do you think, who else is going to like it?
I think the most obvious answer would be this is for people who miss real trip hop, who are still listening to the old Massive Attack and the old Tricky and old Amon Tobin, and really anybody who loves that moody, melancholy, rainy music. But it's also for anybody who loves jazz.
I love jazz.
We have some incredible jazz musicians on there. It's for anybody who loves hip hop. You know, it's this blend. Anybody who loves vocal harmonies and just a very genuine vocal sound. I hope this album finds the people who, I don't know, it can sort of give this hug to. Yeah, so it can, I guess, lift people's burdens for a bit, because that's what trip hop did for me. There was it was an understanding. I didn't really relate to the emo sort of thing, but when I heard trip hop, it was the right elements for who I am to kind of relate and feeling that something or someone understands is always it's always a thing that helps, because you don't feel as alone in this whatever is going on.
Do you have a favorite song on the album?
Let me just be clear that there is not a song that I don't like on there, because it wouldn't be on there. There's no skips, no, you know, typical album cuts where it's just like, let's fill up this album. It's 16 tracks. That includes intro and outro, and even those are just very carefully crafted. And having said all that, there's a song on there called Mm-hmm, and Gary Williams is on vibes on that one, and that song just takes you into a whole other dimension that you get lost in, and it is beautiful there. And I've listened to that song probably the most lately, but I think based on where you are in your life, you're going to relate to a different one at different times, because it's, like I said, it's a journey.
Do you get nervous? Okay, as an artist, do you get nervous or intimidated? Like, do you get scared to go on stage? I would be scared.
Well, I'm very human. I do get pretty anxious. Maybe just because, you know, I've lived and so I know what's possible. Sometimes you understand the importance of things, or what can happen at any time. But I also don't like the feeling of being controlled, and because of that, I weigh my decisions carefully, and I'm not on autopilot. So I think that makes all the difference. I think a lot of artists don't necessarily make decisions, they just respond to the artist and the art and the industry around them, so that they don't make decisions for their art. They just make decisions in response to others' art. How to be like them, how to not be like them, how to be different from them. And just always kind of chasing something. So I always have that nervous energy before going on stage or whatever, but I also in those times, I guess the only thing I think to myself is like, I'm a professional. And so just like as a professional, you have to learn and know things, technique wise, idea wise. You also have to be, cool under pressure, because it's like, how am I going to be an artist and a performer if I don't learn how to control that in myself, or how to, come up with ways to deal with that? Because if I'm a performer, I'm going to have to be on stage. So throughout the years, even, the smallest shows, or even recording myself on video, I always see what's going on and deal with it as if I was going on, I don't know, the Tonight Show. Because it's like, when I do go on the Tonight Show, whatever coping mechanisms, as far as this nervousness or whatever, I've developed throughout the years of doing smaller shows, they're the same ones, They're just, the stakes go up and up, but I already need to have something in place. So it's like, if you get nervous, deal with that nervousness or stage fright or whatever, first in front of yourself, in front of a camera, then in front of your dog, in front of your best friend, then a couple of friends, then, small dive bar where there's 5 drunk people, and then just, you use the same things to deal with it, and then just as it grows, your capabilities grow. They're the same ones.
You've been in the music and performance world and dance world for a very long time. Why do you think it's taking you so long to get noticed? What are these people paying attention? What are these people doing? If I had known about this, I would have been doing these interviews a long time ago.
Okay, well, as a solo artist, I had to wear many, many hats. And some of them, some of these skills I got really good at that I didn't even mean to get good at. Like, I produced for myself because I couldn't find the correct fit of a producer to work with. I had to promote myself and learn how to take my own photos and videos and all of that, because I was moving around a lot, and it's just like, in this city I had a photographer, this city I knew no one, and so there was no more collaborations. I would have to pay for everything, and I was just obviously working a lot of jobs, and so doing everything for myself was, taking so much time and energy and it wasn't enough. So it didn't matter that I put my all into it. It still wasn't enough. And the people who were trying to help me, I don't think they ever actually truly got what it was that I was doing. And so they would try to change it to make it more palatable for the general public. The difference is that, Swamburger is the executive producer of this album, and he sees the art for what it is. And so he is able to present it to an audience and change their ability to see it for what it is.
Yes, I have met Swamburger. I did an interview with him. He was at a cafe with some friends. He's very nice. He had good, concise answers. Not that
Oh, my answers aren't very concise.
No, your answers are wonderful.
I'm kidding. He believes in it very strongly, just as I do. And so I don't think the general audience really knows what they're hearing or seeing. Once you work in the industry for so many years, you see so many decisions being made behind the scenes to manipulate the audience, and to assemble pieces and make decisions to make this whole, and those decisions are not necessarily made by the artist. They're just, you know, they're made there because the audience will grab onto the tricks and the wow factor. It leaves a true artist feeling rather empty, although it leaves the opportunist or somebody who maybe has good intentions but doesn't really understand where they fit in the grand scheme of things, probably leaves them feeling pretty good for a while. So for example, right now, we'll see this on social media a lot. The audience is judging artists by how closely their art can resemble a photograph, like photorealism, for example, right? And so there's this idea that the more you can make your art look like a photograph, the more you can do something like a computer or a machine, the better it is. And it's like, you're never going to out-computer a computer. You're not going to out-machine a machine. And of course, people now want bite-sized things and, like I said earlier, singles instead of albums and short attention spans. And so it's very difficult to educate each other. And so sometimes when no one asks you a question, you just have to ask yourself.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yes, I have enjoyed the Mapster classes very much.
In the audience and artist relationship, it is important that they are both educated and they both challenge each other, not just in technique, but in style, in artistic language, in craft, in culture, in tradition. Because otherwise, we're just trying to do what a computer does, and we're never going to out-computer a computer. And so much music is sounding so electronic and not human enough. The voice is not human enough, and so easily replaceable. What we can offer is a human ability for now.
Okay, so like, do you want to be famous, or do you not want to be famous? Because I don't know if I would want to be famous.
So the short answer is no. Not in the way that I see fame right now. When I was a kid, to me, fame was inevitable. Like, I had no doubt in my mind that I would be famous. But becoming an adult and seeing how famous people are treated, I just can't see that for myself. I can't feel like I'm in this just prison where I can't go to the store. And I think this also relates to journalism, because I know it's probably very difficult to be an honest journalist, just like it is very difficult to be an honest artist, because, you know, that's not what sells, and so that's not really what people are looking for.
It is difficult. I try to be very true to journalism, and sometimes they just want the froth, like the froth. I care about do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so here's the thing. Throughout the years working on this album, a lot of people might have heard me say, I am working on my perfect Portishead album. And so I think the assumption was always that I'm trying to make an album like Portishead, and that's not it at all. My perfect Portishead album means that I want to get as well known and have the type of impact that Portishead did. Because Portishead was known amongst the people who knew music, and everybody who was crate digging, everybody who knew what good music is knew Portishead, but it wasn't in the mainstream like that. It wasn't, you know, Janet Jackson, Britney Spears, Madonna, whatever, Beyonce type of a band or music. You know, it was the music that people who really love music, they felt it, you know. And so that's what I meant. I want my album and my music to be that impactful amongst people who love music. And yeah, I mean, honestly, if if it does get too famous and just blows up, then you might not see me again or see another album again. Because it's no, I can get that famous, but when you, let me put it like this, I don't think success in any profession should mean harassment and stalking and people looking, you know, in on your private time when you're eating, where you're having intimate moments with loved ones. Like, that's not okay for anybody. And this idea that because people are famous, especially teenagers, children, that it's okay to harass them. Like, if it was any other person, that would be stalking. And I just can't comprehend why it is not for artists who become successful. And it's like, that makes me, I think that maybe also was a part throughout the years of why I didn't want to get too successful, because I knew back then I didn't have anybody around me to protect me from that. Anyone that I trusted enough to protect me from that. I do now. So I am definitely willing to go further. But again, if I get to the point where people are just like, if I see myself on my private balcony in the paper, it's like, you're not gonna see me again.
Okay, so before I go, do you have any fun facts to share? I love fun facts.
Okay, I have one. Without this album, without Labyrinthine, there would be no Mugs and Packets, because the reason that DiViNCi introduced Swamburger and me to each other is to make this my dream trip hop album. And that's the reason we were introduced. I just sort of happened to mention, oh, I also produce, and I've had trouble getting MCs on my beats. And I actually had no idea how good Swamburger was at the time. I was just like, okay, here are some beats. And so I had so many beats just laying around, and when I heard what he was doing, I was making more, and then that just took off so quickly that album just happened to be finished before this one. But we were working on both albums at the same time. So Labyrinthine and The Adventures of Mugs and Pockets, they were being done simultaneously and sent off to different instrumentalists and all of that. So, but the reason we began collaborating was for this album, Mugs and Pockets, and the map universe and all of that's happening, arc, the animation and everything else is sort of just like a happy accident that started growing like crazy. But this album was the beginning of it all.
Wow, I never knew that. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you very much. I feel like we now know each other.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know. I feel like maybe we're like a little bit alike. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, you know. Okay, thank you. Okay. Um, back to you, Ron.
What?
I know. Wait, that's not.
This girl.
Thank you. Oh, that was cute. She's a little strange. Oh.